So how's the flotation side of your business?
It's about a third of our business. So the salt rooms, the halotherapy rooms, is a little more than 50% of all of our business. Then it's the float tank and sauna after that.
Yeah. Interesting, because I know there's a lot of people that have different models or people that are looking for new models, right? There's those that do saunas. There are those that are doing cryotherapy. There is flotation tank. There are other modalities out there that people are combining, and not saying anybody's looking for that right mix, but there's a lot of interesting stuff that is being emerging in terms of wellness and wellness type of facilities.
Right.
We have quite a few customers that do back-to-back services. They'll salt and then they'll go into the sauna or sauna and flow and stuff like that. So we get a lot of back-to-back, transition customers.
Are you guys tracking this stuff? Like, are you able to really get some good metrics in terms of which customers are going to what and how frequently?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We are. It seems like the float tank. Well, the float tank is we get a lot of athletes in there, and of course we get a lot of people that are just curious, right?
Sure.
And actually the sauna is kind of the same thing. A lot of people. Athletes or people looking to just really just detox, a younger kind of group. The salt room, to be honest with you, it draws such a wide range of people.
From children to elderly.
Yep. We've had some people bring their kids in there. Groups, a big, we'll get a group of girls in there and they're chatting it up. And then
it goes quiet.
And you peep in, they're all out and they're just having a great time. But particularly women in the salt room. And not that the men haven't fallen asleep in there too, but it's mostly the women. And I think at first they do it for just a day out relaxation, but then when they do it, they're like, wow,
they actually see the benefits.
I can really breathe.
Yeah. So for example, you just made a comment, a lot of people will do flotation and they'll do it out of curiosity. So it would be interesting to see how many of those folks, we always look at conversions, right? How can you convert that person to then buy another session, in float? And so when you start looking at your numbers and you say, well, how frequently are people doing it? Do you have repeat customers? And it would be curious to get that compared to, as you're suggesting with the salt therapy, because I believe the same thing, that you're going to have a lot more people open to market to going into a salt room, young to old, athletes, healthy, people with conditions, skin conditions. I mean, the market is huge and it's very little maintenance and consumables for it as well. Having a flotation tank and doing one person per hour and clean and maintenance and what you have to charge for that, and then to have that person come over and again is a higher model for it, right? And so same thing with saunas. And so, the real question a lot of people have is, can a salt therapy facility really make it just as a salt therapy facility? Do you need some of these other modalities to balance off, or at least to cross market? As you were saying, how many people are doing back-to-backs? Are you putting them in packages, different structures? So you've been open for 4 months, so you don't really have enough to really get your feet, hands into it. But it sounds like you're like, all right, here we go.
Right. You want to talk to that as far as how people try the different stuff?
Are you seeing a trend? Do people like to do one thing than the other? And is it like a pattern?
Well, they usually ask us how we feel would be the best thing. And we always tell people, if you're going to do the sauna or the salt room and sauna, always do the salt room first and then go to the sauna, because we don't want, be sweaty and get all the moisture and stuff in the salt rooms and stuff like that.
And we have seen the interest. Now we do have some customers that literally they come in, they know what they're going for, and then that's it. We try and explain those if they're not interested. But but we do have a lot of people that do, like Chris was saying, they like to jump around from the other because they all provide a little bit of a different benefit. And what you said earlier is exactly true. The salt room is a safe alternative to maybe one of the other two. When I say safe, I mean it's not scary. Some people are claustrophobic, so the sauna, or especially the float tank, even though our float tank is one of the bigger ones where you can leave it open, they're still a little bit leery. The salt room is very open and
it's
very
glass,
open.
yeah. There's glass in the front, and it's not. And a lot of people don't like the extreme heat, and some people don't like again the cost of confined spaces and stuff like that. You know, so the salt rooms are definitely something that everybody can do.
That's right, and so to your point, I think facilities can be successful just as a salt facility. It's even now, especially going forward with everything that's happening.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. It's interesting as I'm thinking of the different modalities. You know, I have a lot of customers and clients that we work with in sauna, and I have some partnerships with some. And for me, going to a facility to sit in a sauna, that if I can't take a shower or do something, I'm old school. You went to the club, you stayed there and you did everything and all that stuff. But I would think at your facility, I would do the sauna first, then I would float so that I could shower. Yeah. And then float, shower off, and you know.
Yeah, we definitely instruct our people that inquire about that. We'll definitely not force them, or kind of nudge them that way.
Right. That's exactly it. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, very cool. Yeah. So yeah, and I think to your point too. I mean, flotation. It's the same thing with cryotherapy. You know, it's going to hit a certain market. You know, athletes do it. You know, there's some higher risk. There's some new technologies out there. A lot do have a flex room where they're going to be doing massage or facial, or more towards the med side. We've been seeing a trend where there's a lot more medical and med spas doing this, where they're doing IV hydrations in a salt room. So if you're going to be there with a drip in you, getting hydrated or getting your vitamins and your IVs, why not be in a salt room, breathing in salt air at the same time? And they make it so that there are ways that the salt particles won't make through anything. So it's all safe and everything. It's interesting.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Incredible. You know, so I think, you know, there's people that are doing a lot more with salted yoga. There are people that are considering now. We have a customer who has, you know, 7 treatment rooms and a salt room, and they're really considering converting another of the treatment rooms into a salt room now. And really starting to look at what's this new normal going to be when some of the day spas are opening up, and you know, how much of the impact of this COVID-19 is going to be people being hesitant for certain types of treatments. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
It's all uncharted territory, and what we've done too in our third salt room, where Chris was saying it's ADA compliant, so there's no salt on the floor, right? We actually can use that also for clients they want for massage therapy. They can get their massage in that room while, you know, having the salt treatment as well. So that actually is another benefit, and another way that a salt facility could, you know, give an added benefit.
Yeah, and that's what, you know, where you can have multiple modalities out of a room, or if you can be doing things like sound therapy. I think you're going to see a lot more growing trend about doing breath work. So when you look at the context of salt therapy from a perspective of the respiratory system, we've been hearing a lot of people that have gone through and survived through the first break of the COVID-19, that it's how to really breathe properly and how to get oxygen in your cells. So I think there's an opportunity for people that have salt therapy facilities to really educate people a lot more and do things where they can have certain breath work and do things, and what they're able to take with them when they leave your facility, to be mindful of respiratory hygiene and keep that going. So wherever you can keep adding those kinds of aspects to it, I think it's going to be interesting for people.
And I agree with you. We all breathe wrong, they say. So I think that's going to be a bonus.